Now that we have crafted and worked on a vision and mission for our organization, department, or even ourselves individually, it's time to start narrowing this down into some elements that become kind of operational. And the first of those elements is something called key objectives. Some people will describe those as high-level goals or things like that, and that's fine, but the phrasing I'm going to use is strategic objectives. Those are generally a set, not a ton of them, somewhere between, 3 and 7, that key elements that you're going to use on an annual basis or in a medium kind of time frame to measure your impact and your progress towards your vision. They are generally at very high levels, things like total sales, service level, quality of work, team member turnover, retention, things like that that are at a relatively high level, and there's a couple of other litmus tests that go into them. They have to be measurable, meaning you can't say improve service levels, but you actually have to say what you're measuring that based on. Improve service levels to a 97% satisfaction rate, or even better yet, improve service levels 5% as compared to 2014 or the prior year. That comparable is a really nice one to use, especially for existing departments and organizations, because it already gives them a baseline against which they're measuring. Those strategic objectives then can be, when they are measurable in either a comparable format or a raw number format, then they can become easily shareable. And when they're easily shareable, that gives everybody an idea about where they're heading and where they're progressing. In the next segment that we talk, we're also going to talk about how we take those strategic objectives and then can break that down into some other levels so that people can see even more incremental progress with those. One other element, one kind of final element on this, is I want to encourage you when you craft strategic objectives, make sure, first of all, there's a little bit of challenge associated with it, and then also make sure it's something that people have control over, something that they can truly impact. The example that I would provide is many organizations will craft a strategic objective for net income. Well, you know what? If I'm the frontline cashier, I can't do much about net income. You know, you guys make charges to depreciation and you write off certain and amortize certain things and at very high levels make decisions on spending. I can't control that expense side that goes into the net income. What I can, however, control is, do I upsell to a customer when they're checking out? Do I offer something additional to them that they might want to consider? That's why I would always recommend using things like gross sales rather than net income. That allows that individual team member, sometimes at the lowest level of the organization, to realize that they have impact into those things. Even when you roll it up at an incredibly high macro level, they still realize, you know, look, that extra $50 worth of merchandise that I sold had an impact, and it rolls up into this big giant bucket of gross sales. Next time that we talk about strategic planning, we're going to be working on action plans, the next level down in this process.